Hey everybody, Greg Harrelson here, of course, with my co-host Abe Safa, and we are glad to be here once again for another week of live Facebook coaching. Brought to you, of course, by something that we're all involved in, which is Real Geeks. So I sure do appreciate Real Geeks for the technology that they've built and whatnot. But I wanted to, just continue our coaching, and give you information that might be able to help you to. Continue to generate momentum, especially coming towards the end of the year. So, Abe, thank you for being here with me.
Oh yeah, Greg, always a pleasure to be on here.
I want to talk about getting lucky. 10 things that you can do to get lucky. And Abe, you probably heard me say this around the coaching or around the office in the last 2 weeks, because I've repeated it a few times. I don't think I've said it here. And that is, I was playing pickleball. I've been playing a little bit of pickleball. I really do think you should get involved. But I know you like to be alone running a lot. So that's your thing. But you can join me anytime. But I hit this unbelievable shot, Abe. And it was one of those shots that no matter who I was playing, they were going to say, "Oh my God, that was so lucky." And if I'm on the other end, other side of the net, I promise you, I would say that exact thing. Like, that's a very appropriate conversation for this unbelievable shot that I made that I could not repeat if I tried. So my opponent said, "Oh my gosh, that was so lucky." And this was my reaction. 'Cause sometimes I should think before I talk, but my reaction was, yeah, but I'm the one that put myself in the position to luck out. And 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when I did that and I said that, I started thinking about what I said. And I shared this with the agents in my office. I want to share it now and talk with you about it. It's like, sometimes I wonder if it's more about putting our position to luck out that helps us grow, or or is it like, okay, we know exactly how to grow, and to me, it's like it's more about putting yourself in position to win. And I thought, I don't know who said this originally. I've heard this quote, many times, and that is, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So even the person that closes their eyes and throws it over their back and makes it, yes, they got lucky. But if they didn't do that, it was 100% chance they were going to miss, because by not taking a shot, not much of a chance that they were going to make it. But because they did one thing, which is throw the ball up there, they put themselves in position to get lucky. And that's what I wanted to talk about, is like, what are some things that real estate agents can do to put themselves in position to get lucky? And I'll start with sports. In soccer, there's a statistic: shots on goal. In basketball, free throw attempts, field goal attempts. In football, pass attempts. In baseball, at bats. And what we find in sports statistically, not 100% of the time, is the teams that have the most attempts typically win over the people that may take fewer shots. And they may actually take higher quality shots. But it's usually the higher quantity of attempts that wins the game. And I started thinking about real estate agents. I mean, why wouldn't that apply to us? So thoughts on that before we get started and giving some items?
Yeah. I mean, did you play Powerball yesterday?
No, okay. I didn't.
Did you get lucky and win?
No, I'm gonna miss 100% of the tickets that I didn't buy.
Yeah. So somebody won it, right? The 1.9 billion, and they got lucky, no question. But they bought a ticket or multiple tickets.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have any chance at all to get lucky if you're not in the game. Okay? Yeah. You got to get involved. But I think I do want to add one more element, because a lot of people, I really don't hear many people talk about it at all. not only does it come down to the number of attempts, the number of reps, I think it also has to come down to some skill set as well, some skill, right? So Lionel Messi, right? Arguably one of the best soccer players ever. If he took 1,000 shots at a goal, okay, and that were really, really difficult shots, and I took 1,000 shots at a goal, same shots, he's more likely to get lucky and make some of those really difficult shots as well. So number one, it's got to be, you got to be in the game. Okay. Number two, the more you're in the game and the better your skills are, the more likely you're going to make those unlikely shots or get those unlikely things that fall your way. I think it's a combination of both as well. But it definitely does start with you've got to get in the game.
Yeah. I think that's where it starts. I agree. We can all once we start the process of saying, okay, I'm gonna swing. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna make some attempts. Well, then at that point, that's phase one. Phase two is oh, well, what if I actually get a little bit better? Then you get more out of the attempts. Mm-hmm. But what we deal with in real estate, and especially this time of the year, and with the market kind of being softer, I'm seeing that agents are not making as many attempts at doing anything. Right. But they're complaining about the market, but they're not really making a lot of attempts. If your business is not where you want it to be, make more attempts. Now, you could say at what? I would say to that first answer would be at anything. Going from no attempts to attempts is huge. Now, if you're now ready, if you're saying, okay, now I'm making attempts and you want to increase the quality of the attempts that you're making, that's another conversation. But do not advance go and collect $200. You've got to go through this process. You got to first start with the attempts. Then we can have the next conversation. So let's give them some ways to make some attempts. And attempts, again, we're going to randomly give you things. Mm-hmm. This is not about, this is the highest quality thing that you need to do. We've shared that many times, and that doesn't make somebody do it. What we want to do is just say, hey, look, if you want to put yourself in a position to get lucky, here's a few ways how.
And these aren't the only things too. These are just some things that you came up with, and there could be a whole lot more. The whole point
there are a whole lot more.
Get active. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You want to start us off?
Sure. I mean, open houses. Yeah. I mean, let's get back to open houses. I know agents all around the country that their only source of lead generation is open houses.
Yeah.
And they kill it because they're all in on it. Right. So they'll have balloons. They'll have 20, 30 flags all down the road going into the community. I mean, they go all in on it. Right. So open houses can still work if they're done right. And the more open houses you're going to do, the more likely you're going to generate some leads. So if that's something that you've done in the past and maybe got away from it these last couple of years, which a lot of people have gotten away from the basics over the last couple of years because it's been so easy, this is a time to kind of go back in and really go deep into it. And I would say go even deeper, double down on it this time around if it used to work for you in the past and you know how to get it done. But that's definitely one thing that the more of it that you do, the more times you're going to get lucky with either a buyer or a potential neighbor wanting to sell and get a listing lead.
Yeah. And so again, somebody may say open house is oh gosh, I don't want to do open house. Okay. Well, let's talk about what somebody's doing at the same time that they could have done the open house, they'd be doing nothing. Mm-hmm. So to somebody, you should be more uncomfortable doing nothing than doing anything that we're going to say on this list. Like if somebody says, oh, that's not me, I don't like open houses. So what is you doing nothing? You like doing nothing and getting nothing? That's not you either. So we can't have it both ways. We can't complain about no business and then complain about the activities that lead us to business. You cannot do that. I mean, and if you are doing that, just recognize that that's kind of insane. So if the open houses isn't your deal, then do something else. But nothing should not be an option. Another one here, text your past clients. Just text them. Hey, I'm just kind of curious. Inventory's still low. Buyers are still willing to pay a good price for property. Are you putting more thought? Have you put any thought at all to selling your property in the next couple of months? Text your past clients, your past buyer clients. Well, I don't like the way that sounds. Okay. Text them your script. That's okay too, whatever your script is. It should not be an option, though, to do nothing. And that's the point of like doing nothing guarantees you nothing. Doing something gives you an opportunity to get lucky. And if this was our standard protocol, our practice that this is what we practice day in, day out of putting ourselves in position to score, we'll grow our business.
There's no question past clients out there are doing something, even in this market right now. Past buyers are actually selling right now. So the more people you talk to, and again, it doesn't have to be a hard sell. You could just call them and ask them if they got the Real Geeks market update you sent them, right? And if they have any questions about the market. Almost everybody has a question about the market right now. So this is a good time to reach out and actually give value to people.
Yeah.
Next thing is check yard sales on Facebook Marketplace. That's about it. I mean, you're on Facebook already. I know everybody is, right? You're constantly on there. You're on there right now watching this, right? So look for yard sales, okay? And then go out there or just look up the people's phone number, give them a call and check and see if they're looking to possibly sell.
Yeah, when I was thinking about this one, because I've done this from time to time and talked to agents about it. And so I just did it in our market, Abe. I just did it one day. I say, oh, let me go look. There was 3 there, and I just messaged 3 and just simply said, hey, I see that you're having a yard sale over the weekend, and I know this area very well. I'm a real estate agent with Century 21, the Harrelson Group. We're constantly working buyers in this particular neighborhood. Any chance that you might be selling this property?
Yeah.
Now, the 3 attempts that I made, one of them was a renter. One of them says, no, we're not selling. And one of them didn't reply. But I will assure you, practically guarantee, but I'll say assure, if I do it to 10, I'll get 2 people that are. It's that, like everybody, you all could be doing that while Abe and I are finishing this call today. Just go, and all you do is go to Facebook Marketplace, look up yard sales. So yard sales, garage sales, and estate sales will pull up. And then because it's a Facebook page, it's part of Facebook, you can message the seller or message the owner of that Facebook page, which is going to be the person who is conducting the yard sale. I gave you a script, do that. And my recommendation, check every Thursday for the weekend's yard sales and just make that a routine. Put yourself in position. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? Somebody doesn't respond? What's the best thing that could happen? Matter of fact, yeah, we're decluttering and are thinking about selling in the next month or so, because I've had that response. I think it's lucky that I got that response, but I'm the one that put myself in that position. Posting on Facebook, posting listings on Facebook Marketplace. If you've got a listing or you got somebody in your office that'll let you borrow one of their listings, and take the photos and put it on there and put the details on there and just post it. I mean, it takes you a couple minutes to post it on Facebook Marketplace and potentially get a buyer lead. Notice that nothing Abe and I have said yet cost a penny. We wanted to make sure that we brought a list to you that you couldn't say, well, I don't have money. I don't have the money in the budget to do that. That's why we're not talking about things that cost money. So there's like no excuses. It's just a matter of whether or not we'll put ourselves in position to get lucky.
Yeah. The more people you talk to, the more business you're going to run into and fall into. And if you want to spend a little bit of money, do some seller ads on Facebook.
Sure.
I mean, that's a great feature on Real Geeks, and it's super easy and it's working. I mean, I run maybe 15 to 20 ads at a time on Facebook, and it's constantly, it's a never-ending stream of leads coming in.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to spend some money, you could do that.
On Real Geeks Mastery. So for those of you that are listening that are not a part of Real Geeks Mastery, Abe and I have a coaching program called Real Geeks Mastery, which the entire conversation is about Real Geeks. And we were, because it's a coaching, I guess a group, a coaching call that we do, we can go a lot deeper in the how to do things. I actually, Abe and I open up kind of like all our systems to everyone that's in that coaching program. So we get a little bit deeper than what we do here on the live Facebook group. And on Thursday, Abe, when I'm doing the coaching call, Lindsay and I are going to reveal the new seller valuation lead that we or ad that we put out on Facebook page that totally changed her click-through ratio. So like it kind of, she's been running ads and we haven't been getting as much engagement and as many leads. She switched up one ad and did it differently, and man, it just spiked. So that's going to be what I'm sharing. If you all are not involved in Real Geeks Mastery, message me or Abe. We'd love to tell you more about it and get you involved. All right. So where do we leave off? I think
so go back and call all the leads that your VA or ISA has given you over the last 12 to 18 months.
Yeah,
right?
Well, that's if you have a VA ISA. Yeah. So yeah, and we do. So it kind of goes back to all the leads that were engaged, but maybe you haven't communicated with, and call every one of them. Or better yet, kick off a workflow to that batch of leads and email and text them through your system. And then everyone that engages with that workflow, or you give them a call. So no brainer, free. And like right now, if you were to stop listening and just do two of the things that we said, putting yourself in position to get lucky, I bet you get lucky. You know, what's fascinating to me is we're, as real estate agents, we have the knowledge and the resources. We just need the will. That's usually what's missing, is the will to take action. Sharing a listing. So go to your website. Here's another idea. We do this a lot. Go to your website and look up one of the properties on your own website, and there's going to be a little share button. Hit the share button. And as long as your Facebook is open on your computer, you're logged in, you hit the share button, it'll automatically populate to the Facebook page that you want it to. And then just put a little post, a little description here of, say something like, check out the kitchen on this property. Just do that. Like, post a link to the property, but add something like, check out the kitchen. Because when they see check out the kitchen, they're going to be like, oh gosh, that might be okay. Let me hit so they'll click. Your click-through ratio is going to be much higher if you say check out the commission. Again, that even if you don't get a lead, you've branded yourself, you've marketed yourself, you're putting yourself in position to get lucky.
Yeah, I mean, the common theme here is you got to talk to more people. That's what it comes down to. Look, everybody wants to play it safe right now. Everybody wants to cut back on their spending. Everybody wants to minimize their lead spend, all of that, just so they can be conservative and play it safe. The safest thing, the most secure thing that you could do right now is just talk to more people. Mm-hmm. That's, if you really want to hedge yourself against the market and the economy, just talk to more people than what you've been talking to. You're gonna run into some business.
Well, hey, that sounds too simple. Keep it simple.
Next one, get back to calling FSBOs. Okay, FSBOs right now, they don't have the same patience or the same information that you and I have, right? They still think that they can list their home at top dollar and just put it out, not even list their home, just put their home out there on the market on Zillow and expect to get buyers flocking in. They're not getting that right now. So they need an agent's help now more than ever. So get back to calling them. Pick up the phone and call them. And look, and if you don't like it, if you don't have that personality, or you feel like you don't have the skill to actually land a FSBO listing, call them and see if you can help them on the buy side.
Yeah.
Just anything. Just talk to them. Just get them on the phone. Anything. Just talk to them about anything having to do with real estate. And you do that enough times, you're gonna convert some of them.
Yeah. And and don't forget, when you're talking to a FSBO, if they say, hey, look, we're going to sell it on your own, then just say this, say, hey, no worries. At least we've made a connection. But Abe, where are you buying when you sell this? Where are you going to be buying? And if they're buying in your local market, then say, hey, look, well, maybe you can handle the sale on your own. My experience is for sub owners, a lot of times they try to sell their property on their own, but usually they use a real estate agent to buy their next property. I'd love to assist you. Tell me what are you looking for? And now adopt that FSBO as a buyer client and then start working with them as a buyer client. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to end up establishing so much rapport. If they don't sell that on their own, they're going to list you and they're going to be your seller client and your buyer client. Put yourself in position to get lucky. A FSBO is an opportunity to kind of actually hit 2 balls with one swing, make 2 goals with one swing.
That's lucky.
That's lucky. That is lucky. Yeah, that's lucky. And so we, mentioned FSBOs. Well, what about expires? Look, for most of you, expires are coming back into your marketplace. Canceled listings are coming back into your marketplace. If you're allowed to call those groups of people, then go out there and work those segments. It doesn't cost you money. Those people need a professional real estate agent. Posting property on Craigslist. I mentioned Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. You're probably thinking, well, Craigslist, is there still a Craigslist? Yes, there still is Craigslist. People still go on to Craigslist. Put yourself in position to get lucky. You could do direct mail. Now that one would cost. Mm-hmm. So that's one, but you sell a property or a property sold in your from your company, do a just sold, like a flyer, a postcard, door knock, and put those flyers on people's doors. Put yourself in position to get lucky. Final thoughts on this, Abe?
Yeah, rentos. You can call rentos.
Rentos, yes.
So finally now, I read this the other day, rent inflation has finally started to come down. So what that means, and for the last year and a half or 2 years, rental rates have blown up. They've gone through the roof. Talking about home appreciation, rental rates have gone through the roof. Finally now, last month or so, last 2 months, it's starting to come down a little bit. So there's going to be more vacancies coming back to the market. So some of these property owners might be feeling a pinch. Talk to some of them. Some of them might be thinking of selling. Look, their tenant just left and they don't want to deal with another one. This is the perfect time to sell your rental property because you don't have to turn around and buy something. So why not sell while the market's still really good?
Yes.
So there's plenty of opportunities in calling rentos right now. And again, if they're not ready to sell, do like you do with everybody else you talk to. Get their email address, get their cell phone number, put them into Real Geeks, give them a saved market report. And then this is business down the road that you're going to get. Mm-hmm. Right? You should do that with every single person you talk to anyway. But rentos right now, I think, are a good, solid pillar to go after.
Yes. Yeah. So, we could continue to go on and on and on. This list could go for, another 10 or 20 items. And the reality is we don't necessarily need more ideas. We just need more execution on the existing ideas. So all of us within the Real Geek system, just choose one of the things that we talked about and apply some energy to it, get active, take some action, and just watch what happens. A lot of us have time in the day that, let's call it dead time in the day that we're really not accomplishing anything. Take 1 hour each day and go do one of these activities. And do that for the next couple of weeks. And then let us know if you had any success. If you truly will do these things for the next couple of weeks, you're going to create an opportunity for yourself. So you have the information. You just got to take action on it now. Well, Abe, we'll leave them with that. I thank you so much, and we'll catch up next week.
Sounds good. Take care, Greg. Thank you all for watching.
Bye.